All right. So welcome, everyone. My name is Jeff Olson. And like our guests tonight, I began this conversation with a conversation 17 years ago as a health food agent. For the last 12 years, my wife and I, we took it on and chose to build a health food agency with the Juice Plus company. I want to welcome everyone to this series. This is a series we're calling the Freedom Revolution series. It's a name, it's a title, it's a thing. And it's going to occur every Monday night through the rest of this year. When I first heard the title, I was a bit, kind of Hallmark cardy revolution. I always thought of revolution as the American Revolution, the scientific revolution, the industrial revolution, the digital, kind of big macro things. And when I heard this definition of what a revolution was, it gave me access to revolutions kind of at a personal level. Whether it's revolutions or revolutionaries or revolutionary acts, all that whole conversation is around sort of challenging, fighting, standing up against oppression, and oppression against, something that you're trying to change, right? Whether it's political, religious, economic, competitive, social, kind of changing the social order. But in the formula of a revolution, some themes come out, and it's kind of character transformation. Again, that could be political or economic. There's a fight around the status quo and trying to change the order of things. And when I heard this definition, it really gave me access to what I call kind of the micro or personal revolutions, right? We think of them as these big global things, but revolutions can occur in communities, in neighborhoods, in families, with individuals, inside, in a family unit, in your neighborhood. And so this is a definition of revolution that brings me to life, that spurs me into action to carry this conversation in the world. And it's when the nature and the power of distribution shifts. And it's the distribution of politics, the distribution of economics, the distribution of religion, the distribution of a social order. When the nature and power of that thing shifts and changes and is transformed, and there's a character pivot, a character shift, that's a revolution. So they can be big at a macro level, but they can be micro. They can be internal and they can be external. So tonight you're going to hear from some brand new health food agents, as we call them, some Gen Xers and Gen Yers. You're going to hear from mission-driven folks, new and old, that are have kind of locked arms around this mission, which is to inspire healthy living around the world. You've been invited here tonight because someone invited you and they respect you, they care about you, and they're excited to share with you what we are up to. We hope the information is informative. It should be relaxing. We're not going to ask you to buy or do anything, but just being here is a way to show support. So thank you. Stories you hear about people tonight are just people who know their health, and then they chose to take on the health of others. And you're going to hear about a health food company, the Juice Plus company, been around for 24 years, who have chosen to build a stable and lasting company for agents in the world who inspire healthy living. And as you hear their stories, maybe something's going to show up or stand out for you where you might trip or trigger someone that you know or care about that, this message could resonate with. So thanks for coming. I believe here's the bottom line. It's what I believe. I believe health is one of the greatest gifts we can impart to people. I believe it used to be incidental. It used to come with the territory. It just kind of used to be the way we roll. But now, today, present day, it is an adaptive trait. It's an acquired doing. It's a functional skill set. It's a curriculum for life. And it's challenging. We stumble, we fumble, we mumble. Sometimes we just don't get it done every day. And it's these habits, these little tiny incremental habits that compound over time. We all want to look good, feel good, and have a long, active life. But it's the principles of eating well, thinking well, moving well, where we just don't get it right sometimes. That's kind of where we come in. We're in the business of that conversation, along with tens of thousands of people around the world, activating around this sort of healthy living revolution, as we call it. We've got this website you can go to. We've got a lot of, the company and us as agents, we're committed to imparting resources to you, tips and tricks and tools. You can go to healthylivingrevolution.com to get a lot of that stuff. We've got cookbooks. We've got activation programs for kids. But here's the bottom line. It's kind of all tricked up and generated around the doing, the execution. I say healthy eating is only as good as your execution, and the foundation of good eating is grounded in plant matter. It's grounded in plants. It's grounded in fruits and vegetables. It is the keystone of all dietary vigor, vim, and vitality is fruits and vegetables. And the bottom line is we don't eat enough of them as humans. 9 to 13 servings a day. If you're a foodie, I would challenge you that you don't eat just the Dilbert cubicle minimum. And that's why we love this super simple food called Juice Plus, plant powders, produce concentrates. They're kind of the Kleenex of that category. So for those of you who don't know about Juice Plus, just real quickly, we harvest produce, we juice produce, we dry produce, we crush it into powders. It's plant powders, it's produce produces, plant matters, matter matters. And when I saw it for the first time, it just made immediate sense. It was a think different thing. I knew it wasn't a multivitamin. I knew it was food. It's categorized by the FDA as food. They test it for all pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, man-made chemicals. If you don't eat enough plant matter, this food technology is a simple way to cram more plant matter into your life. We've got plant powders and shakes and plant powders and capsules and plant omegas and the healthy plant oils. We as humans need to eat more plants. Kind of the bottom line there. I have been consuming Juice Plus for 17 years. It is like brushing my teeth. I believe plant powders are going to become standard of care in modern medicine. I believe plant powders are going to become this dietary regimen daily thing for athletes. One of my personal goals is to help pull sports nutrition into the 21st century. So if you think that makes sense, what you're going to hear from tonight are some folks who took on their health. It made sense to them. They had an experience and they wanted to, when you find something you like, when you find something that makes sense, when you find something that works, what do you want to do? You want to share it with people. So here's the thing. If you hear things tonight that resonate with you, or you hear things tonight where you think of someone, this is the way it works. It's about imparting and gifting and sharing this information. So what I'd like to do now is just turn it over to these 4 Gen Y or 3 Gen Ys and 1 Gen Xers. And I'm going to ask them to please share kind of your product story, how you were introduced to it, this thing called Juice Plus, and how you got on it. I'm going to ask you about your business story as a health food agent in the second half of it. So just focus on, when you were introduced to these plant powders, what attracted you to it? Why'd you get on it? And what has it done for you? Kind of simple. Keep it simple and we'll go from there. So we'll start out with Marina. Why don't you kick us off and just give us your product story around these plant powders and produce concentrates.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. And thanks to everyone I invited for being on the call. I see a bunch of you, and I really appreciate you being on here. So I was introduced to Juice Plus after my freshman year of college. I was a struggling college athlete, injured, exhausted, had no time, wasn't managing anything, eating ramen noodles before practice. And so when I went home after that year, I was kind of fed up. And so I found Juice Plus, and I didn't get into it super consistently. I took the shakes with me to school, but just that kind of opened my eyes to taking better care of myself. And after that, I was able to become a team captain, and I made all conference honors every season since then. So it had just made that much of an impact just with me starting it. And then I graduated, and as all female college athletes, I was worried about staying fit without my sport. And on top of that, I was getting married. And so, of course, everyone wants to look amazing on their wedding day. And so I did something we have called the Shred 10, which is basically just doing your Juice Plus, your capsules, and your shakes consistently, along with making some other healthy living changes, drinking more water, getting more sleep, avoiding gluten, avoiding dairy, and by no means like one of those crazy diet plans, but just trying to implement some better things. And so I did that, and I was very happy with how I looked on my wedding day, and even more happy with the healthy habits that I was able to maintain. And so now I have the tools that I need to be happy with my body, enjoy my life, and I feel like I have tons of energy, clearer skin, I recover quicker, and I sleep better. And so, and then I'm excited one day, don't want to get the in-laws too freaked out, to have Juice Plus babies, but not for like 10 years.
That's great. Thank you, Marina. I've got two Juice Plus babies, and we have thousands of them around the world. So we can have a lot of fun stories about moms on a mission and Juice Plus pregnancy. So I'm going to call on Mackenzie. Mackenzie is a childhood friend to my daughters as well, and Mackenzie just graduated with a degree as an RD, a registered dietitian, and now she's launched into the world. And so, Mackenzie, share with us your story.
Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of looking a little weird right now.
It's Halloween. It's right. You're right. Yeah. It's Halloween, so that's good.
Yeah, so my name's Mackenzie, and thank you for having me, Jeff. It's good to see like a community that has inspiring healthy living as such an important part of their lives. So I just graduated, became a dietitian, and I grew up taking Juice Plus. So my family was very health conscious, and I grew up taking it, and I think this helped my foundation of when I went to school to continue eating healthy. And I grew up also with sports being such a big part of my life that once I got to college and did Division I athletics, that I was able to make healthy decisions on my own. But through my schooling and my dad getting cancer, I realized that it wasn't just something to think about. Prevention was key, and diseases and cancers can be so prevented by just your nutrition and exercise. So that's really what brought me to join the company, that I liked that most of us aren't eating enough fruits and vegetables, and that even as a dietitian, knowing what I'm supposed to eat, I'm not getting enough. With 9 to 13 servings recommended a day, most people aren't hitting that. So with my passion in nutrition, my passion in research and disease prevention, this really just aligned with why I wanted to continue Juice Plus and not just keep it for myself and my family.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Mackenzie. I'm going to have our Gen Zer kill it right now. Mackie grew up with my kids, as I said. She was a neighbor, friend to my middle daughter, Bella. And Mackie, welcome. Thank you for being brave to step into the world of us grown-ups here and share your story. Mackie, take it away.
All right. Well, I'm excited to be here, first of all. And I am a Juice Plus baby. I don't remember the first time I took Juice Plus. I don't remember it ever not being there when I sat down to eat breakfast or dinner. It was always glass of water and my Juice Plus. And so that's how it started for me. And like Jeff mentioned, Bella, his middle child, was my childhood best friend. So I was over there all the time. I was just watching them eat really healthy, live really healthy lives. That's where it really started, was just getting to see someone actually put into action all those things that you hear your parents like, oh, well, we're going to start exercising more. We're going to start eating healthier. And to me, Jeff, your family was kind of the dream. And so yeah, I grew up, I was taking it every day, and then high school happened, and I was like, well, maybe I'm like a superhuman and I don't really need all these fruits and vegetables. So I just kind of stopped taking it. I don't think it was a conscious decision, but I stopped taking it, and I started getting sick all the time. I was super tired, and I actually noticed it, which is, I didn't expect to. And so when I noticed that there's this, that I was getting sick more often, and I was really tired and run down, I was like, oh, what can I do? Well, start taking Juice Plus again. So I started taking it again. And after that, it was something I wanted to talk about and wanted to share. So that's how I'm here.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Mackie. All right, next up we've got Ariel. Ariel is a yoga Jedi up in the Aspen Roaring Fork Valley, and she is new to this this playground. And so, Ariel, share with us how you were into it and what it's meant for you.
Yeah. Well, one, I just want to say welcome, because I have a few of my new homies on here. I can see them. He grins when I said that. Oops, necklace. So welcome to them. I think that my health story and Juice Plus story kind of has two sections. One you know, back in college, I struggled with an eating disorder. I'm probably like 125 pounds now, and I was 100 pounds for a while. And even when I tried to heal that, it was like super yo-yo-y. And then I found veganism. And for most people on here, you're like, yeah, you found it. But I think, you know, for me, it ended up being like even more of an outlet for this eating disorder. Like, it was just another way to control my food. And so, you know, that's just the background on the aspect of like, it's the reason I'm so passionate about nutrition and health. It's the reason why I've spent so much time researching and, you know, trying to figure out what's the best way to eat, what's the best way to take care of myself. And, you know, I found Juice Plus from a friend. I went off birth control and I got crazy acne. And this is actually like such a common story, I'm realizing. And I feel like I tried everything. Like, I went on all these elimination diets. I took 2 different food allergy panel tests, and nothing was working for me. And then I had this friend, Eliza, and she was like, hey, like, I have something that could help you. And my first reaction was, no, like, I eat healthy. I don't need your juice pills. Thank you, but no thank you. And then it just came down. Like, it was like 3 or 4 months later, none of the elimination diet stuff was working for me. So I just kind of said, screw it, I'll try it. And it was crazy. Within like, you know, I think everyone has their own healing time, but within like 2 weeks, people were asking me what I was doing differently. Like, people could tell that my skin looked different and that I was glowing. And, you know, every single day my skin gets better and better. And pretty much now all I'm left with is scars, which is why I just became so even more passionate about it. But the last piece of my story, I don't think I've shared with anyone yet, because I just realized it this week, like the last couple of days. Like, this is the first time in my life where I just eat real food. Like, I'm drinking my shakes and I'm taking my capsules, and I have like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'm not thinking about it in a way that, like, I'm not obsessing about it. Like, is it perfect? Like, you know, am I going to gain weight from this? Am I going to lose weight from this? It's like, it's crazy. I guess I'm struggling to put words to it. Cause like I said, this is the first time I've actually said it out loud to anyone. It's like, I actually feel like there's this sense of healing for that first part of the health journey. And it's really cool to see that, you know, to be able to, you know, step back a little bit and be like, holy shit, wow. I can like eat food and be normal and not stress about it.
That's fantastic. That's wonderful. You know, I've seen hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of those kinds of stories when you shift from, you know, kind of quantitative eating to just quality of life eating, and you just kind of forget about it. You know, for those of you who don't know my story, I was a professional athlete. Then I got my degree in finance, worked on Wall Street, did .coms. I was functionally transport for testosterone. I was in sports and money and tech, and I was a guy's guy. I was all alpha, and but when I saw Juice Plus, it made immediate sense to me. I mean, I was a professional athlete, you know, did a couple Olympic Games and all that, but here's the deal with athletes. They're ruthlessly practical. They will do what works. And I understood that this was a common sense thing, and it made sense, and I knew it would work just at kind of a guttural primal level. What I didn't expect is kind of to service that intellectual, that hunger to know why, who, what, how, when, where, you know, all of the ins and outs of just the basic idea behind it, or what made that basic idea work. You know, that was my own due diligence. That was my discovery process. So the product made immediate sense to me. I understood plant powders. I understood that it was food. I understood that there was a compounding effect that would occur. You know, the earth did not move for me when I got on it. There was a compounding effect in this man's body, you know, over time. You know, I play soccer now with 20-year-olds, and the 20-year-olds want to be like me when they're 50-something. You know, I want to be, you know, I'm kinetic. I want to be off the couch doing stuff in my 60s, 70s, and 80s, and grandkids and all that. And so I understood, you know, 17 years ago that plant powders were hygienic health food, and there would be a compounding effect to my physiological vigor. As an athlete, I wanted to be a Porsche, my body. Now I just want to be a truck. I want to get up every day and I want to work. So thank you all, ladies, for sharing your stories. We're going to transition now into kind of the business side of this. When I was introduced as a consumer to these plant powders, made immediate sense to me. I didn't really understand the enterprise or the business of it. But this is how the business happens. It's word of mouth marketing. It's tribal conversations. And the world has changed a lot in the last 17 years. Good companies are looking for good people to do good work. And 1099 independent contractor is not a new thing. It's not novel to launch a business out of your house anymore. That's become kind of normal. If you haven't figured that out, then you haven't figured it out yet. And so, my wife and I have an organization all over the world, but we have no employees. I can get into kind of the benefits of it all, but here's the bottom line. We start as health food agents, but as a real estate agent who's got some game, what do they want to do? Or a sports agent. If you're a sports agent and you want to Jerry Maguire it and go off and start your own agency, then you get your tribe together and you form a little boutique and you revenue share with other sports agents, and you maybe take on some more capital risk as an entrepreneur, and you build a tribe of other like-minded professionals in the game. You can be an agent, you can own an agency, and that's one of the ways that I just talk about what we do. We are not brick and mortar delivery. If it's so great, why isn't it sold in Walmart? That was an MBA kind of question in my brain. Well, it's one thing to get a customer in business, but it is a completely different thing to retain a customer in business, and that's why they pay us. We have one of the highest retention rates in the industry. My wife and I have had customers for 15 years. We are revolutionaries involved in sort of revolutionary acts around this simple idea of nutritional execution of plant powders. And so the business of what we are up to is to change the game, change the conversation. Health is blue-collar activity. Health is a blue-collar activity. And it starts, all possibility occurs in a conversation. So again, thank you for tuning in to the conversation tonight. The business is very simple. And so I want to, what inspired me to get in the game was I saw my wife take it on as a side business. And hey, she started paying the mortgage. She started paying the car payment. And I'm like, what's this? I was working in the corporate world and I had some intellectual ignorance. I had some illusions of knowledge. I had some ego that maybe prevented me from kind of getting to the facts. But over time, I'm a slow learner, and I did figure out that it worked. And this is all my wife and I have done for the last 10 years. But I want to get to the new people tonight. I want to hear, Marina, what inspired you to go from a consumer and a customer to jumping in the business side of this game?
So my background is in health and fitness, and I'm super passionate about helping people get healthy so that they can achieve their full potential. And so I find it super fulfilling to be able to have such a big and direct impact on people's lives with something that seems so small. And that's huge for me also because us Gen Y or Gen Zers kind of enter the workforce at the bottom, and we don't really get to have that direct contact, it feels like sometimes. So this kind of allows you to have that like one-on-one in like involvement with a person and be able to have that impact on their life. And then I also love it because I can do this alongside my current job, and it supplements my income to live more comfortably. And I always have a plan B just in case, or what I like to call, I'm kind of building my empire, building my social media status. And then one day this could possibly take over and I could live comfortably. And then, on top of that, it's tons of fun. I love meeting new people. I love being able to attend the events and to travel and getting that team environment back that I miss from being an athlete. And I even have some of my teammates on here, or I know some athletes. And once you finish college and you kind of lose that team, you feel like you lose a piece of you. And so being able to be a part of something that's bigger than yourself is just amazing. And then the last thing is just, there's no ceiling or limit on what I can do with this, which I love because I don't like being told that I can only go so far with something. But I also love that there's no requirements or pressure to do anything more than what I can handle. So
that's fantastic. Thank you, Marina.
No problem.
Mackenzie, you've launched into the world trying to get a job as a registered dietitian. How does this business fit into your hustle? Did we lose Mackenzie?
She's just muted.
No.
I am muted. There we go.
There we go.
Yes, I always wanted to have my own business. I didn't really know what that looked like, though. I didn't want to deal with the insurance and having to start from the ground up. So once I finished my internship, which I had to pay for and not get paid for a year, this really made me think, what do I want to do and how am I going to make money to support myself and to grow professionally. So I really wanted to work in something that, one, wasn't nutrition oriented, and two, something that I like she said, is limitless, that I can continue to grow. I can have time. I always wanted to travel, and work with your best friends. So you get to pick who you get to work with, people that are like-minded and that are willing to work really hard for what they want. So that's really why I chose the business side of Juice Plus, that I could have a little bit more of that freedom of time and grow the business to what I wanted. So that's really why I chose to go the business route.
That's really good. If you think about YouTube and Facebook, they're the largest media company in the world, and they got no content. Amazon's one of the largest retailers, and they got no stores. You know, Netflix, the largest TV network, no cable. You know, biggest lodging company in the world is Airbnb now, no hotels. Largest taxi company in the world, Uber, no vehicles. You know, Juice Plus is a health food company, and they're not in stores. They work with agents all over the world. And so, Mackie, you're a Gen Zer launching in, this as your side hustle while you're a student. What about this attracted you to jump into the business side of this conversation?
Well, so I graduated high school, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. Didn't know if I wanted to be an EMT or go into naturopathic medicine, or if I just wanted to travel and climb and raft and go backpacking. And I also didn't know how I was going to do all those things. So I did know that I needed to find something that I wanted to do that wouldn't, be like going to work. Like both my roommates, they go to work at an Olive Garden. They're there till 11 o'clock at night, and there's no way I was going to do that. So I decided to do this. This was a great opportunity to me. It made a lot of sense. It was something I believe in. I watched you and Tony do it your whole lives and get to travel to amazing places. And so I just kind of thought, why not? Like, why not get into that business? And now I'm really glad I did. You can work anywhere, wherever I go. I'm talking about it. I find people that I can talk to about it. And it's amazing to me how many people still don't know about it. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to get into it too, because everyone should know about it, and so many people don't know about it, and yeah, I love being able to work, and I love being able to put everything in my backpack and go. And this is a job I can put in my backpack and go and do wherever. So yeah.
That's great. For those of you who don't know much about our company, we're a 50-year-old company. We're approaching $1 billion a year in little itty-bitty plant powders. As my buddy says, this is not an experiment. We're privately held. We're debt-free. We pay agents to go out and build a customer base and then scale distribution networks, try to drive this conversation out into the world. On the philanthropic side, we're the largest donor to St. Jude's Hospital. Our goal is to give 10 million meals to Volunteers of America over the next 3 to 5 years with our shakes. We have another goal to put a tower garden in every Boys and Girls Club in the country. We are up to something as a company. We're up to something as an agent of change. And so, Ariel, you are a yoga instructor in the Aspen Valley, a actual local, which is rare, and you're new to the business. But what about enterprise attracted you to join us?
Yeah, I mean, actually at first I had no interest in doing the business, to be honest. Like I said, I wasn't really interested in taking the capsules at first. And then when I started having the results, I was like, okay, and when people started asking me what I was doing different, I just shared. And somebody else had just said this, like basically it just was so natural. People were saying, asking me what I was doing. I told them, and then they're like, how do I take these juice pills too? And so I kind of took that as an initiative to learn a little bit more about what that entails. And Kristen, she's on this call too. I went to a dinner at her house, and there was this couple there that was like 27 years old, and you were there too, Jeff, making like 6 figures, totally crushing it, so happy and vibrant, and hear their stories of how many people they helped. And I left that dinner just being like, I'm ready to change the world. And literally from that day on, I hit the ground running. Like, like you said, I haven't been in this very long, but I like fully just like within 1 week had like, I think I put in 12 orders the week after that dinner. And then I signed 7 reps within 2 weeks after having that dinner. And then just signed a few more. So, I just feel like, it's whatever you want to put in, and I'm the kind of person that's willing to make it work. So I just feel really grateful that it all kind of fell in my lap this way. But yeah, that's really it.
That's fantastic. We keep these short and sweet, and I want to thank you ladies for jumping on tonight. We're going to do this again next Monday. We're going to do it through the close of 2017. And it's just a conversation. The gig here is that this conversation triggers you to say, cool, tell me more. We're kind of in the business of cool, tell me more. We got education on our side. We've got science on our side. We're the most clinically researched, peer-reviewed, and published health food product in the world. We've created more 5- and 6-figure income agents than any other health food company in the world. We're in the business of service. We're in the business of caring, daring, and sharing. And so I want to thank you all for tuning in. Here's kind of the end game for me. As I said, I believe, health is one of the most important gifts we can impart and share with the world. I think private enterprise is still the cornerstone of the American dream. It's allowing, moms and families to focus on, family care instead of daycare and have options. My vision, I envision sort of people, families, people being able to work on their own dreams versus, kind of the dreams of your boss or your company. And I'm truly passionate about inspiring healthy living, leading, and ownership around the world, around getting people to higher ground around their health and their economic lot in life. And so with that, I want to thank everyone. You kind of got 2 decisions now. If you know of someone that this makes sense for, if you think of someone, please get with the person that connected with you and say, hey, I know some people that don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. They need to hear about this. If you'd like to learn more about the company behind this plant health food company, get with the health food agent that invited you and learn more about who we are, how we roll, what we do. We're going to be having some live events here in the Metro Denver area in the next couple weeks. We invite you to come have a beer with us, a glass of wine, and hang out and see who we are and what we're up to. But with that, have a wonderful Halloween, and we will see you on the other side here in November for our second Freedom Revolution call for this series. So God bless. Thank you all. Have a great night. We'll see you on the field of play. Take care.
Thanks so much, everyone, for being on.
Thank you, everyone. And thanks for supporting these young ladies here tonight. I really appreciate those who just tuned in to show your support. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Good night, guys.